Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be doing some masking and reductive painting using some different techniques. So this page was using up a whole heap of gel prints that I've been doing for a whole heap of different things. I had a load left over and I just wanted to use them up. So I decided to glue them down into my art journal. So these gel prints were done onto deli paper, which if you don't have access to deli paper, tissue paper or a grease-proof paper, you can print on that. It's really thin paper and it makes it really good for using as collage. Quite often when I'm doing big printing sessions, I print onto computer paper or printer paper, but if you're going to collage like this, it's just a little bit bulky, it's a bit hard to glue down and bits peel up and stuff. So if you can print onto slightly thinner paper, that works well. So I'm just covering the entire page, mixing and matching colours, mixing and matching prints, just making sure there is no white space on the page because it's me and why would I leave white space? To glue it down, I'm just using gel medium as usual. Putting a little bit underneath and some over the top, so it's all glued down fairly well. So you can see just from doing that, it's a really simple way to get a background. It's not particularly pretty background, but it's enough to break the page, to have something on to go on with. So you can see me there, so scratch at the page going, I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. So I decided that I would do some reductive painting or using masks. So basically what that means is that you paint out the background, so the focus will just be on the shapes. And I had these beautiful masks. Some are Dina Wakley ones, some are from Darkroom Door, but I decided to go for these bigger ones from Stencil Girl, just because I liked the background and I wanted to show a little bit more of it. Now the reason I'm taking so long to look is because there were lots of different sizes of these and I could not find them anywhere. So I had to pull out all my stencils and go through them, and in the end I got fed up and actually stopped the video so I could go and look for them, and then came back when I'd found them. Moral of the story is keep everything nice and neat and where you need to find them. So because I had a little gap on my page, I decided to put in that little bit of dotty paper, just because it was bugging me just having the little white space there. I also decided I wanted to brighten up the page a little bit, so I'm using some neons over the top. Now neons are a fantastic way of adding a real boost of colour to your page. Because they are translucent, you can sort of spread them out like I'm doing and you can see everything underneath them. It just boosts the colour. It's a bit like putting a filter over your photos. It sort of just boosts the colour a little bit. I decided I wanted to tie the page together a little bit more than just having the gel printed pages in the back, so I'm putting in some mark making. So I'm using the shapes in the background to help me out. So I had that black from the little dotty bits, so I decided to extend that out a little bit, and using some different sizes as well. So I've got quite a large white pen, a medium black pen, and then a small black pen. A lot of this is going to be covered over, but it's just, you know, something to add a little bit of extra detail into the background. Okay, so again, going back with my white pen over the top. I really like this pen. I think it's a 7M, so it's quite a large bullet point one, and just the shape of the circles that come out is really lovely. So once I'd done that, I'm going to put on my shapes. I'm using Payne's Grey, so not a true black, to put on my paint. Now while it looks quite solid, you can actually see what's happening underneath it, so you do get a sense that you've got something interesting happening underneath, and if you look carefully you can see some of the patterns and some of the texture peeking up through the paint that I'm using. So you can see I'm using a few different sizes of the masks. So as I said before, these are all from Stencil Girl, and just using a sponge to pop the paint down. So once I'd sort of got where I wanted it to, I decided to put in that other flower down the bottom, so you can sort of mask it out until you're happy with it and then add in all the other different bits and pieces. So you can see that by putting the black, oh not the black, sorry, Payne's grey in the background, it really focuses on the colours that you've got left. So once I've done that, I decided I wanted to put a little bit of detail on using my pens. Unfortunately, because I've used a lot of my pens, half of them are dead and I forget to throw them out. So I actually resorted to a gel pen, which is very unlike me, but it worked quite well, so I was quite impressed. I'm going around the outside of the shapes to leave a little bit of a border, like less than 1 millimetre of a border around my shapes, and I'm being quite scratchy. I'm not being very particular, but just making sure it sort of outlines it and gives it back a little bit of shape. When I'd done that, I was like, yep, this is nice, but what am I going to do now? So while it's sort of all tied together, it didn't quite go the way I wanted it to. Now this is where I probably went a little bit too far, because I decided to do some stamping in the background, and I was having so much fun getting that beautiful crisp white on there that I just kept going. So this is from Hero Arts. It's their unicorn white pigment pad. It's amazing. It's so white. I've never really had a true white ink pad before, which you can see I get a little bit carried away with. The only thing you need to be aware of with pigment ink is it doesn't dry very quickly. You do need to heat set it, and it's not permanent. So even when it's dry, if you get it wet again, or put a wet wipe over the top, it will smudge. So just be aware that unless you emboss it, it's probably going to smudge a little bit, but just to put on top of this and dry it off with a heat gun, it's fine. So it's just if you're thinking about adding more layers over the top. The last thing I decided to do was to add a quote or something to the page. I was going to write on it, but because I'd made it so busy with all that stamping, I decided I'd just stick something on the top. So I think this is from Paper Rose, which is an Australian company. It's got a whole heap of sayings, which you could write your own and print out of computer paper if you didn't have one. And this one sort of was flawsome and had a little definition, which I thought was good because the page was flawsome. It wasn't beautiful. It was messy. It was what it was. But then again, I had fun doing it. So that's what it's all about. Just trying different techniques, seeing what you like, seeing what you don't like. I like that I really like the white pad. I learnt that I probably shouldn't use so much of it on my page. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got something out of this video, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.